had people driving around, it would help facilitate our food. So this is where we sit down and we actually have an opportunity to thank those that step above and beyond for the cause for working men and women. And we're very fortunate tonight to have a gentleman that really needs no introduction. Everybody here knows who our Congressman Mike Thompson is. We're so fortunate in this area, especially being a labor leader, when most of our folks are having to make trips back to Washington, D.C. or up to the state capitol to make appointments and sit down with their elected officials. For the most part, we can pick up the phone and we can make sure that the issues that are facing our working men and women are getting the proper due, because they always pick up the phone and call back. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce our Congressman, Mike Thompson.
Can everybody hear me if I just talk from here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All the young people can.
First, okay, if you can't hear, get closer. Well, first of all, thank you all for turning out, and thank you for inviting me here to be with you tonight. The work that you do on a day-to-day basis, I just think is the most important work that anybody can do. The working men and women of labor contribute so much every day, 365 days a year. And I want you to know that your work and your effort is very much appreciated. So thank you all very, very much. Now, John asked me to talk a little bit about, kind of the national agenda. And I can tell you right now, if Congress could get its act together, and I know it's a tall order, but if we could get our act together, we could make your life a lot easier. And I think it's incumbent upon us to do that so we can help create the jobs and get the business community going so more people can go to work, so we're not having to worry about where the next job is, where the next paycheck is, whether or not we're going to have enough money for the schools, whether or not we're going to have enough money for the health care. We can do this. There's some things out there that can be done and done right now. Everybody knows that the transportation bill is long overdue, and we don't even have a bill in the House. And we don't have a bill in the House because the Republican chair of the committee, who's a good, decent guy, good on transportation, works with people from both sides of the aisle in order to get transportation projects in the authorization bill. He won't bring it up because he has a primary coming up. And if he does a transportation bill, the Tea Party faction of the Republican Party is running somebody against him, and he's afraid they're going to vote him out. And that's happening every day on every important issue that we face as Americans. And it's absolutely unacceptable. Now, you've probably been watching a lot on the news about this coming Tuesday and all the primaries and all the Tea Party people that are poised to either run strong or win. The chamber and those guys are coming out spending a lot of money to try and get responsible, good old time, regular Republicans in so they can maybe work with Democrats on some of these issues. Let's hope that they prevail. Let's hope that they prevail, because it is so important for everything we have before us, and the job creation is a big part of it. If we could fund the transportation stuff, we can put people to work right now. Every $1 billion in transportation funding puts 30,000 people to work. And is there anybody here who drove on anything other than a hovercraft tonight who doesn't know we've got infrastructure problems? Our roads, our bridges, our overpasses, you name it, we've got infrastructure challenges. And we can invest the money that will fix those challenges, and by doing that, we'll generate a lot of economic activity, and we'll put men and women to work, and that's money that multiplies out across the community, in every community. The federal government's got a lot it can do in regard to energy. renewable energy is so huge, and we can do so much with it. If you don't remember anything else I say tonight, please remember one thing. Every minute of every day in the United States of America, we spend $200,000 on imported energy. $25 billion a year goes to Gulf countries that aren't necessarily our friends. Just think if we could save any fraction of that and invest it right here on renewable energy, what that would mean. It would be a clean environment, it would reduce our dependency on foreign oil, and it would put people to work. And we happen to be sitting on an island that is poised to be a major player in economic development for our entire region. We could be doing so much in the renewable energy right here and putting people to work, cleaning up the environment, and reducing our dependency on foreign oil. And that's incredibly important. And the third thing that we could do at the federal level is better invest in education. When we're creating jobs, putting people to work, we're competing globally. We're not competing Vallejo against Fairfield, California against Nevada. It's global competition, and we need to have the best school systems around. We need to be able to lower the cost for going to higher education, and we need to properly, you think about that for a second. It costs so much to get a degree now. Kids are coming out of school with a 6-digit loan deficit. And not only is that not right, you know, our parents didn't leave us in that type of situation, but not only is it not right, but just think how stifling it is for our economy. If you come out of college with, you know, $100,000, $60,000 in debt. That means that's longer before you can buy a house. It's longer before you can buy furniture for the house. It's longer before you can buy a car. And that's all money that's spent locally that creates jobs that multiplies out across the country. So it's very, very important. And I want to talk about one other thing, because it's so American, and I know that all of you do what you do because you're good Americans. You want to be part of a great country. And did anybody happen to watch the 9/11 memorial dedication yesterday on TV? Am I the only one who cried when that was going on? You know, I got to tell you, they highlighted a young man, the guy with the red bandana. There was 70 people on the floor, 70-something floors up, it was smoky, it was terrible, they didn't know where they were, how to get out. This young man shows up. He led the people in that room down 70-some flights of stairs to safety, and himself to safety. Turns around, goes back in the building, finds another group of people, leads them down the stairs, saving their life, and then turns around and goes back in the building to find more people to help. Sadly, the building collapsed on his third time trying to help people. But I was so moved by that, and I was on my way down here to Vallejo to work, and I thought about it the whole way. Because at the same time, great Americans are doing great things, and him being emblematic of the greatest contribution that you can possibly make. Complete disregard for his safety, his life, went into that building to help people. And at the same time, we've got people around this country who don't give two hoots about the people that they stand next to and they live next to. And they're manipulating Congress. They're spending hundreds of millions of dollars to influence races so they can make a little more money, so they can get a little bit more. Same people who are stopping our efforts to increase the minimum wage, something that we all know is important and that we need to do and is long overdue. The same people who are stopping all of our efforts are trying to stop all of our efforts to deliver quality, affordable health care, making that accessible to everybody. How can you do that? How can you say, I've got my health care, I don't care if you have yours? I'm making a livable wage. And you know the numbers on the livable wage. You know what the average CEO makes vis-a-vis what the average worker makes. It's not even in the same stratosphere. That's how bad. That's how the income disparity has grown over the last 20, 30 years. U.S. workers are making the same that they made in 1999, while CEOs are making multiple times more than the collective group. How can you do that? How can you say, I'm making $20 million a year? I don't care if you're only making $7 an hour. That's not the America that I grew up in. That's not the America that all of you grew up in. Our parents and our grandparents and the people we grew up with, they understood that they had a responsibility to prepare their kids, prepare the young people in their towns with the tools that they need so they could take advantage of every opportunity that this great country had to offer. So we really need to work hard to make sure that we can snuff out that element, that greedy element of our society who is working so hard to hold back working men and women in this country, hold back the middle class. Because the truth of the matter is, the middle class is what makes our country great. It was the middle class who brought us to where we are today, not a handful of overpaid CEOs. And don't get me wrong, I wish everybody was making $1 million or more a year. We'd all be great. We'd have more taxes to do the great things we need to do. It'd be a great world. But the fact of the matter is, it is the middle class who is responsible for where we are as a country, and that middle class is shrinking, and that's not right. We need to double down to make sure that our middle class is strong, continues to be strong, and that everybody has an opportunity to live the American dream. So thank you for what you all are doing on an everyday basis. I can't tell you how proud I am to stand with you and work with you, and I look forward to doing it for 2 more years until I run again in Congress. So thank you all very, very much.
For those of you that haven't been to Mike's headquarters lately, he's starting the Mike Thompson Rod and Gun Club Bocce Ball headquarters down there. We're going to get a clay chute set up.
We've got the bocce ball pit in the back of the office, is right down the street. We've got a bocce ball pit, and I suggested last night that maybe we put a skeet and trap range in the back, so I'm all for it.
And we're going to get the electricians to light that up for you, Mike.
All right.
Yeah, Monty!
All right. So, the other person that I would like to introduce right now is the hardest working man in politics, I think. We elected him a couple years ago to represent us in Solano County, and he has been anywhere and everywhere. Our good friend Jim Frazier, and he's going to say a few words, right, Jim?
I mean, why do they put me behind Mike Thompson? Seriously, right? So, just, you know what, it's good to see each and every one of you. We're in session. Saw the May revise came out from the governor. Little disappointing. Doesn't mean that we're not going to be able to accomplish some things. With the LAO report came out, there's some additional unanticipated revenue that was brought forward that we have some negotiating, some wiggle room with now. But, you know, I've got to say that the people that are involved in this process, you and labor, are an inspiration. We were able to save 200 SEIU jobs at the call center in Concord. It was going to Stanislaus. The Board of Supervisors had given up on it. And we were able to reel it back in, and those jobs are cited in Contra Costa County's SEIU jobs. Thank you. we're working. You know, I'm proud to say working with the building trades, and we're working on the PLAs and on WIDA and the Community College Board. And I've got to say to the Community College Board, thank you very much for standing with labor and making sure that we get quality projects on budget, on time. Those are what we're working towards, and people's money being used wisely. One of the things I've got to say is the best job I've ever had in my life. Again, you guys are an inspiration to me. I want to be out there and learn how I can be better, how I can do the job better, how I can represent you. And I want you to be able to feel that I'm accessible, that you feel comfortable telling me that. That's why I'm there, to be a facilitator for you, your voice. We just cited 500 jobs in Vacaville on Wednesday with ICON. It was a great collaboration with our county supervisors, our city officials, and the state and the federal government all work together to make this process. We're going to continue that model as an inspiration for other cities to work on that process. We're about job creation right now. This is what we're going to do, and he's going to give me the hook. So anyway, love you guys. Thank you very much for all the support. We're going to keep fighting, hopefully in June. I love my governor. There's one project I just can't support. That's that twin tunnel thing. Yeah. And I will not give up on that for you. Yeah. And if he wants to throw hands with me on that one, we can. And I offered that with Rick Perry in Texas too. But, and I guarantee I'll win. But I want you to know that please keep doing what you're doing, supporting the people that we enjoy, and I look forward to hopefully serving another 2 years. You know, I have an opponent, 28-year-old kid, lives at home with his mom and dad, doesn't have a job.
I got one of those.
Have him run against me. Anyway, thank you very much for all the support, continued love, and we'll keep going and look forward to serving you for another 2 years. Thank you.
We have to do this because our brothers and sisters in IATSE have set up this nice sound system and the cord stops right there. So we're going to come back up here. Plus, we're here to honor the brothers and sisters who go out and do the work for the Labor Council and for all the elected officials that are here. But we have to do our due diligence, so I'm going to run through the list of elected officials. You will not have time to stand up and wave, though, because we're going to go through this list pretty quickly. And let's reserve the claps till the end. And I'm going to go in reverse order because one guy got here very early and wanted to sign up first. We have Belia Ramos Bennett, Vice Mayor of American Canyon. We have Elizabeth Patterson, Mayor of Benicia. Mark Tonneson, Solano Assessor. Tom Ferreira, Solano County Sheriff. Mitch Mashburn, Vacaville City Council. Dan Wolf, Davis City Council, and our endorsed candidate for Assembly District 4. Scott Sedgley, Napa City Council. Thank you for coming, Scott. Skip Thompson, our supervisor. Jen Spearing, our supervisor. Aaron Hannigan, our supervisor. That's pretty cool. We got video of them. Monica Brown, Solano Community College rep. Ron Roulette, Vacaville City Council. Jerry Cassanon, City of Dixon City Council. Don DeBain, our District Attorney. Rosemary Thurston, Solano College Trustee. Kay Marie Young, Solano College Trustee. Dana Dean, see Dana, I didn't forget you this time. Solano Board of Education. Ken Leary, City Council, American Canyon. Tom Bogue, Dixon Vice Mayor. Must be running, using that Vice Mayor. How you doing, Tom? Jim Frey, never mind. Alfredo Pedroza, City Council of Napa. Tom Kinsock, he's with the Napa Community College Board and also a candidate for District Attorney. The Reverend Dr. Board Member Tony Ubalde, Vallejo School Board. And Rosanna Berta Aliga, Vallejo City Council. Pippin Du Costa, Vallejo City Council. I forget anybody? Any of you elected officials out there that have gone through the ringer? Jess Mel. Oh, and Joan. You guys got to sign the paper. Joan Bennett. Thank you so much. Justin Algapo. Thank you. Oh, and Jim's rep, Jennifer Barton. We have Susan Benia's rep, Mr. Johnson over there. Oh, I'm sorry, Ron Turner. We have Tom Barty, who is with Mariko Yamada, who called and couldn't make it. We have, what's her name? Mary Ann Mancuso with the Napa College Board. Okay, that's everybody, right?
Yeah, right there.
Oh, Brandon. Skip Thompson, our other supervisor. Did I say that again? Okay.
Brandon Thompson.
What?
Brandon.
All right, that's it.
You only get one. Man.
You don't know the strain we go through up here. All right, so number one, we'd like to thank Lennar Mare Island and the Mare Island Historical Museum for kind of coming through at the very last minute. We had to have a change of venue, as most of you know. And the people that aren't here, they don't know yet, but they'll know tomorrow. And so it happened in a couple minutes. Our friends in the community stepped up and we were able to have this wonderful event here. And then, of course, we would be remiss if we did not thank our sponsors. You know, this is the way we keep our doors open. We're a small labor council. We have the most density of union members live in our area, and yet they don't in our area. We're always compete like Contra Costa Labor Council in Alameda and San Francisco, where everybody works. It's through the generosity of our sponsors and our affiliates that we're able to keep those doors open. And this year, with our community partners, we actually did very well this year. I think the Napa Solano Labor Council is starting to come, and people are realizing the good work that our members do out there for working men and women.
Good job.
AFSCME and PG&E came in this time with our Commander-in-Chief levels. First time anybody's ever come at that sponsor level. We'd like to thank them. Well, I said something today, and I remember that. But our Sheriff, Tom Ferrara, I forgot. Where's he at? Tom! Is that warrant still clear now for me? Thank you very much. So, our Admiral Speed Metal workers, number 104, they come through every single year. Came up to the plate. Wheeler Sonoma Printers, once again, sits us out every California Professional. So, the back of the 86ers that did the barbecue and donuts. Clay Federation. Boston Steam Fitters, 343. United Food and Commercial Workers, number 5. Teamster, 215. SEIU, local 10-1. Solano County Democratic Central Committee. Carpenters, local 180. California Teachers Association. Of Heat, Frost, Insulators, and Allied Workers, local number 16. Operating Engineers, number 3. SCI 1000. Our siblings in Costa, the Central Labor Council, thank you. Mrs. Henry O'Grady, head of the Contra Costa Labor Council, and we have plans in our future for you. At commander level, ECT, Four Waters Media, Inc., and Public Affairs for stepping up. Solano County Sheriff Thomas Ferreira, Napa County Deputy Sheriff's Association, IAFF 1186, IAFF 3501, United EMS Workers number 4911, Seaway 376, Sheriff's Association, Productivity CSEA, California Employees Association, our Napa Solano Building Aids and Construction Aids, our partners out there, and thank you so much for partnering with us on everything we do. We're almost done. Okay. Assemblywoman Solano County Supervisor Aaron Hannigan, and Hermie Sum, Brickland County Democrat Club, Brotherhood of Control 45, ATSI 16, I'd like to for hooking us up with the sound. The slideshow that you'll be able to enjoy toward the end of the program when it gets dark. Sirs, you would not be able to provide the service to as a labor council. That's pretty tough. How do you guys do that?
Okay.
Trained professionals. Talk all day and night. So here we go.
Yep.
So here we go. We're here tonight to honor those that step up and up beyond the call of duty for the working men and women in Napa and Solano County. And I think we've done a hell of a good job of promoting the program. I think we do a good job of working with folks that want to run for elected office, from the time we sit down with them to helping them run campaign and letting them know what the issues are that face working men and women every single day that they go to work. And it doesn't just happen. It doesn't just happen. There has to be affiliates that are willing to get involved, people that are willing to represent their affiliates and come out and do that hard work. So the first award that we want to present tonight, and we have awards, and we have awards, plaques, and we have resolutions from the various elected officials. And when we call your name, if you please come up here and get your plaque and get your certificates, we'd appreciate it. So we have our 2014 Labor Partnership Award. These awards go to elected officials that our committee felt went above and beyond the call of duty when it comes to fighting for our issues. Pick up the phone when we call them. Excuse me, guys. Pick up the phone when we call them and are always willing to listen to our side of the story. Past winners have been Mariko Yamada, Councilman Mitch Mashburn, Assemblyman Jim Frazier. And this year's Solano County Labor Partnership Award goes to our good friend Skip Thompson. We worked the campaign for last time, and we had a very important election last year, and both Skip and Gail showed up every single week and helped us work for our candidates. Skip, thank you so much for the work that you do on behalf of us.
That's a big package.
Okay, you guys want to sit in? Congratulations. Get a picture with Skip? All right.
That's it, Jim.
You're not even running for office this time. Thank you so much.
That's
Skip.
the beauty of it. But let me just say, you know, we often, as elected officials, we often are recognized, but this truly is an honor to be recognized by those that I think that I've worked hard to prove that what I said during the last campaign and all of my campaigns, I've actually come through and done what I said I was going to do. And I appreciate this award more than you can imagine. Thank you.
Hold on. Our 2014 Labor Partnership Award, same criteria, for Napa County, goes to a gentleman that I've had the pleasure of knowing for probably much too long, that has, put it on the line, not only literally, but also figuratively. He was one of my colleagues in the City of Napa Fire Department. We'd like to present this year's award to Scott Sedgley, Councilor in Napa. And he is truly one of those guys that when you pick up the phone and ask him to listen to an issue, is there for us. Thank you very much.
Hold it in the center. Come on.
I know you want to stop.
Got it?
Thank you, everyone. We'll be there.
Scott, for everything you do. And the other thing is, oftentimes we don't have to call Scott. That's a good about our officials, is they call us. When they're staying out there, we've developed a good relation with them, and when there are things that come across their desk, they pick up the phone and let us know. Our 2014 Labor Political Activism Award. This goes to the person that did the most team with labor, supported our issues, and truly be one of those community partners that out there to agenda for working men. Past winners were Brett Rizzo and Brian. But this winner, Napa County is very important. We just started very active in Napa County a couple years ago. Central Committee and our elected officials and are building great program in Napa. And we need people that are willing to not only stand up for what's right for the Democratic Party, but also stand up for what's right for working men and women. And this year's winner, I'm so proud to announce, is Mary Ann Mancuso. You deserve it, girl. We didn't tell anybody. No, it's supposed to be. It's a Lego set. When you go home, you get to play with it, and then you get certified as an engineer.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get a picture.
Permanent upgrade.
Man, for everything you do on behalf of our members. Okay.
I just want to, we've been through a very trying time. Some of you know that, don't, but regardless, the support has been phenomenal. And thank you, John.
Thank you very much. And we're ready to kick some ass in November too, right?
Yep.
Right? Thank you. All right. Our next award winner was unable to make it. We have a Labor Partnership Award that we like to give out to members of the community that actually step up to the plate for working men and women. And this year's award, Saul, the owner of Gracie's in Vallejo. Past owners were Ken Ross of Team Chevrolet, Mark Botter, Sonoma Wheeler Printers, and Greg Armstrong from NECA. But Kenny or Saul, anybody that knows anything about Vallejo knows that if you need something and you need something done, you call. And many times I've needed something done, mostly to feed a lot of people. And Kenny steps up to the plate without question and helps us. And so when you see him, thank him. And next time you want a meal in Vallejo, go to Gracie's on Virginia Street, the home of the rib.
Yeah.
And I think this recipient is not here as well, but this award is so near and dear to our hearts. A few years ago, we had a young lady that was a member of SEIU 10-1. And she stepped up to the plate one year and wanted to run for supervisor. Even though everybody told her that, you know, the conversation that we have to have with so many folks, you're running for supervisor, you're running against an incumbent, you have no name recognition, and it was that I don't care, that need changing, I want to change them. And it's always very difficult when you have a member that comes up for office and you have to, you know, you have to out and find out viability and all those things. But there was something about Becky when she came in to interview was phenomenal. She got involved like you would not believe. And even though we did not endorse Becky at election, I think I must have spoke with her 5 times more than I talked to the other candidate because she just wanted to learn. And when that election, she was unsuccessful, she went out and got involved in her union and became their co-chair and started working on behalf of the men and women in 10-1. And we were very much looking forward to running Becky Benton's next campaign when she tragically came down with brain cancer and passed away. It was terrible. And having come through that experience changed the way I look at candidates when they're coming up, because you can never overlook that, right? And so we decided that we were going to honor Becky. And the first year we gave the award to James Woolsey, who was in a very similar situation with 10-1 and was their co-chair and was looking forward to running because of family situations he's had to give up as well. Last year we gave that award to Mark Van Gorder because he showed so much courage during the campaign. He overcame so much and came up so close. And we had in the last year in Vallejo that not only tried, you know, our labor and working men and women's to get folks elected, but it got pretty nasty, dirty, ugly, and rotten. And there were a lot of things said by people that not only were not true, but were very vicious. And the person that we were going to honor tonight, Jonathan Gordon, who was the president of the Democratic all the parties involved get the facts, find out what the truth was, and then set up for you, everybody, working men and women, and did the right thing. And that was Jonathan. And see Jonathan next time, like I please thank him for what he does for working men and women. So now we have our 2014 Labor Champion Awards. And these awards are presented to and/or affiliates that are our core team. We can't do it. You know, every year you guys see all the emails that come out, thousands, right? Of when the walk is, when the phone bank is, how we're going to go out there, and we're going to work to help get all of those folks that we introduced, all of our friends elected to office. But once again, it doesn't just have to have people that are willing to show up, affiliates that are willing to you know, take that extra step and invest in our labor council. And these folks are those folks. These are the ones that make everything happen. You show up to a walk or a phone bank or to an election victory party, right? They're the ones. The first recipient this year is Felicia Radkowski from Operating Engineers, number 3. There's not a phone bank that goes by that Felicia is not there. And also taking the time to sit down with me and go over things that we can do to make things the next time. Right, Felicia? So thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. You deserve it.
That a girl. That's our dispatcher.
Who is that?
I feel like I'm in that science mystery theater, you know, where you're going to show it, you got a guy over here. Wouldn't have it any other way, right?
That's our girl.
Come on, Dave.
Closer, I only have to. Sorry. Okay, she wants a picture.
Come on.
Thank you so much, Felicia.
Good job, Felicia.
Our next award, Labor Champion Award, goes to another one of those folks that helps us set up the phone bank. It shows up every single time. From Local 378, Dalia. Is Jason here? I didn't think Jason had somebody. We will thank him and present. This one goes to, you know, somebody near and dear to me. Can make me either look very, very smart or sometimes kind of like, right? Not my right hand, so to speak. And there's a lot of things that go on trying to run this labor council plan and doing all the things we do. Elected official, how that is, right, John? And that person is Brenda Matson from That's right. Now, because Brenda has access to my emails and stuff, we had to kind of have a little side name, so she wouldn't know. And so your resolutions will be coming later because Ken Miller from Ironworkers resolutions, and you get surprised. Thank you so much for doing for us. We really appreciate it. No, and once again, no, you and my wife can never talk.
We talk.
I just couldn't do that. All right, our next award, our Labor Backbone Awards, and these awards we like to the working members out there that put their butts in the seats and their boots on the streets and work their butts off and try to help us elect people that are going to fight for working men and women. The first award goes to Jason Fine, Firefighters Local 1186. My brother-in-law. And I think you've noticed that every time we have an event, the firefighters have been stepping up. They've always been there for us. And you know what? It's not bad to have you fellas on our brochure either. Jason, for everything you do for us.
Great try, Tim.
Thank you, Brad. Next one. You know, we're always trying to keep this open. We're always after kids to come in and beg and borrow and cajole and threaten and all that other good stuff. And we had an affiliate join last year, and it's so nice when you get affiliates that come in and you can't keep them out of the door. They're always there for us. Next award, Labor Back, Natrangelo, 76. Him and his men are there every single time we call for them. Do you leave? Oh, you get it for him? What's your name?
Brad Myers.
Brad, how you doing, Brad? You know, it's pretty funny. You know, it's pretty funny. You go ahead and tell them that you actually were there to get yours. Because you were the next on the list. Because Brad and Troy show up things. So, I'm glad that you were, his name, because we're going to call you next. So, Brad, we really appreciate everything you do for us. If I was you, I would at least get a lunch with 6 plaques and resolutions.
Thanks a lot.
Hold on 1 second, get a picture.
Should I take that too? That could be, no, never mind.
Brad. See, it's exactly, they just come all in your lap. Two affiliates, one of which was our basketball association. Young man, I consider myself a bit of a little animal, and I'm for meeting anybody safe. I meet somebody about running for city council or whatever. But this young man, every time I get a phone call, he's out there working it for his members for Vacaville. He's out there trying to identify good folks that want for office to represent his members. Corey Penner, Vacaville teacher. So he's probably.
Thank you.
The next one is another one of those stories where you have folks across your path that have so much energy. Sometimes you wish you, number one, could plug a line into them, and number two, you try to find out how you harness that and use it. And SEIU 10 certainly has somebody that they now, I believe, elected president, their co-chair. My pleasure to sit down and with this lady. Not only does she work tirelessly for her members at SEIU, but she also decided that, well, you know what, if members are going to present the people that represent my members normally come to party, and she's that over. And my good friend Loomis from SEIU. Get up here, girl. Who else did you think we were talking about? How are we doing? Oh man, on time and under budget. Just like on time and under budget. Thank you, Kristen.
Watching the cat.
Thank you so much. Chris did a good job of adding another layer of tuck to my back to keep the knives out. Our next award goes to one of those folks truly down the streets. When we ask for volunteers, they show up time and time again, and they get these. Work very hard for the members that they chose to represent. From SEIU, United Care Workers, Alejandro Navarro. Where are you? We also gave an award for United Long-Term Care to Sandy Hilton, but he was unable to make it, and so we'll make sure that we get that back. Thank you so much, brother, for everything you do. You are a warrior for your members, and you know it. Thank you so much. United Long-Term Care Workers, they're the, when we talk about labor issues, and when I stand up as a retired firefighter with a very good pension that I work my ass off for, that I deserve, and people are trying to attack it, and we're out there trying to defend it, we also have to think about those folks on the other end of the spectrum. And our brothers and sisters in United Long-Term Care Workers are the folks on that other end of the spectrum. And they're the folks that are going to be called to take care of me and my family when I get old and infirm. And yet, they're still struggling to get the basic respect and the basic wages that everybody deserves. And we had a couple of resolutions that were in the process of getting made up for Ernie Spencer and Paula Cantrera from United Long-Term Care, and those resolutions will be coming to you. And next time you have a meeting, we want to come and present those to you and your members. So thank you very much. You want to stand up, please? So everybody can. Please stand up. Thank you very much, Mr. Deal. Next award. Everybody knows this. Been around the labor movement for quite some time. To have conscience that kind of tells me sideways sometimes, and this for about years now. And sometimes, you know, you look around and you go, gosh, he's right. And it just kind of fries me. Has been toiling for brothers and sisters in SEIU 10-1 for as long as I've been involved in this movement. And I wanted to honor Mike with a Labor Backbone Award. Could you leave? Drink our drinks and then leave. So we want to make sure we give Mike that, and I'd like to come to the next meeting, Kristen, and present that to him. Thank you so much. All right, our last one, Labor Backbone Award. I don't know, he's now kind of known as my evil twin or whatever, because he keeps getting phone calls for me and I keep getting phone calls for him. So, when Lou retired, and Lou was a kind of an icon in the area, that was a vacuum to fill. And Building and Construction Trades Council, we worked so closely with those folks, and they're so active in our labor council. And we felt that void as well. But the individual that stepped up to be their president, thank goodness, also has a tireless work ethic. He's also another one of those guys that kind of keeps me in check, smacks me on the back of my head every once in a while. But the fact that I can call him up at any time, and I can go over issues and we can come to a compromise, because it's so very important as we try to fight for our members and come to those compromises amongst labor itself. Ben Espinoza has been a very good friend of mine for many years, and a backbone of the building trades and construction trade. Benny, come on up. Thank you so much.
All right, Dan.
All right, you can see it. Hey, Angelo, behave yourself.
Sorry.
It's like having a pit bull.
Here.
That's right. All right, so the last award. The 2014 Lou Franchimon Labor Lifetime Achievement Award. You know, it says it all. This is somebody that I think when we call them up here, you're going to go, okay, that's a no-brainer, right? This is somebody that every single time you turn around, they're there, they're fighting, they're carrying the message. Lou Franchimon, we Lifetime Achievement Award when he retired. Last year, Bruce Gorley. Are you still here, Bruce?
Yes.
Come on up here, buddy. Help us out. And so, we're very proud to present the 2014 Lou Franchimon Labor Lifetime Achievement Award to our good friend and heckler, and Angelo Cellini from Operating. I think we've won every one of them that we have, man, but this is one that we could not resist, Brian. This guy, man, right?
Hey everybody, wouldn't Angelo look Sioux City Council member?
Thank you very much. I just want to, we got a new thing going on, and I'd love to see all these working people standing together. Remember that? What are we?
People standing together.
There you go. All right, let's keep it going. All right. Thank you so much.
Way to go, Ed.
Hey, wait a minute.
No, don't let him sing.
Where's his spot?
Oh, you guys are something else. Thank you much.
All right.
Thank you so much. All right. Working people.
Together.
Yeah, all right.
Jim. I'm under budget, just like a PLA. Got 2 minutes to wrap this thing up. And you haven't heard there's an election in June, right? And so we're going to be walking Napa tomorrow for our endorsed candidates at Napa. Tom Sock for district attorney, Diane for supervisor. We'll be walking for Dan Wolk. Is Dan still here? Or is he at another, where's he at?
He's walking.
He's out walking, right? Our endorsed candidate for 84. We're also endorsing Measure S in Benicia for the school bond. And so we want to keep that in mind. We have races for supervisor in Solano County. We did a no recommendation in those races. We have our friend Tom Bogue that's running. Jim Spearing, who was here earlier, is running against our friend Pam Bertani. That's what happens in primaries. And so I'm going to keep my head down, try to duck the bullets, and we'll find out what happens in June and move forward. I just want to take this opportunity, number one, to thank my lovely wife, Kathy, that's been sitting there and she listens to all this stuff. Thank you, sweetie. And unfortunately, hearing Brenda talk all the time, so all the secrets are always out there. They both know all of my bad habits. Thank you very much to all the elected officials that showed up. And the what?
All the volunteers today that put this together, the firefighters, thank you so much. Without you guys, we couldn't have done this.
Thank you. And our team, right? Angela, G. Anthony, Brenda, Pam, Angela. They're all everybody that comes together. I mean, seriously, it's like this. We sent an email out a week ago and went, okay, we got No Spring Salute. Bar's going here, just as that, here in LA. They all put it together. It's wonderful. And so thank you very much for coming and sharing these awards. There's still food, there's still drink, there's still merriment. You don't have to go home. But thank you very much for coming and sharing this with us. We appreciate it. I know I forgot something. Oh yeah, as usual, we could always use some help cleaning this mess up. And that's the one good thing about labor folks, they roll up their sleeves and help. And those elected officials, right? Thank you, everybody.